Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me to this episode. I'm super happy. Today we're gonna do some songs and their other interpretations by other artists. So I'm super excited to do this. Thank you so much. And here's some really, there's artists on here that I'm just enamored with. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, thank you so much to the person that sponsored this marathon. Thank you, Scott. You have been such an amazing part of this channel, and your support is greatly appreciated. But as you all, you know who you are. The usual suspects. There are some people who, have supported the channel just once. Then there's people who've supported the channel hundreds of times. It doesn't matter. It's really, you're all equally loved. And, but I just wanted to say that Scott is very special to us. He's also a musician. And it's just like, I don't know. There's like a couple of people that just come closer because they want to, writing us emails, and Scott is one of those, and we just love him dearly. And I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this. Just looking at the set list is like, holy moly. You guys are, that's why you clicked on the video possibly. If you're new to the channel, welcome, of course. And if not, welcome back. Please, if you like the video, give it a like, or you can dislike it, engage with it, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, thanks to people like Scott, we have content, and we can also, make something, because unfortunately YouTube doesn't pay us to do this. So other people, take their hard-earned cash and put it towards these videos. So thank you so much, Scott, for doing this. So what do we have here? This is all legendary stuff. There's only one band I think that I don't know, which is Leon Russell, but I might be wrong, because all these people are related in some way. So we're gonna start off with what I would probably say is in my top 5 of all time. Thanks to this channel, which is Mr. Jeff Beck. May he rest in peace. This man has a style of guitar playing that I've just never heard again. Anybody else out there at the time and now has not done anything similar. I think the only guitar player that comes close is who. I'm not going to mention him. But Jeff is just, he is like a different breed of a musician. His, the fact that he doesn't use a pick, and he did use a pick before, I know, but when he stopped using it, it has that softness of the thumb, and the way he uses a whammy bar, and without being a Floyd Rose, is just magic. I really am working on, I've kind of stopped because it's really challenging. This is a song that David Gilmour himself said he couldn't play. Or maybe, I think it's not that he can't play it, it's just, it's a lot of work. And they wanted David to play this tune at the memorial, and David said, yeah, I can't. I'm sure he can. He just was like, this is a man, I think the respect was too big. And we're talking about Where Were You? And I'm working on it, and I have it down, but there's a lot of timing involved. There's volume swelling involved. There's a lot of harmonics. There's some pinch harmonics. And it's just a track that needs a lot of precision. You have to know what you're doing, and also the effect. And you need a Stratocaster, and my Stratocaster is back here. It's kind of not really, some of the frets are not, I have to get it fixed. So I've kind of been learning the song on the Charvel, but as you can see, the volume the knob is very, so I have to kind of like, when I do the volume swell, I can't really do it with my finger, and It has to be done with your finger. And with a Stratocaster, it's very close, so you can just do this. And so that's why I have to get my guitar fixed, and then I can record it, and then it's gonna be like, it has to be almost perfect for me to upload it. But I will do it. I will show you that it can be done. So talking about Mr. Jeff Beck, that's the man that we're gonna start with. Just an amazing player, a huge loss for the guitar community, huge loss. This is from the album Wired, and I've done a lot of stuff from that album. We're gonna do Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, and then we're gonna do the same version by Joni Mitchell from the Mingus album, and then we're gonna do Andy Summers' version from The Police. So here's an email, and sorry about the intro, but you know, this really, it's a marathon, so that's what people come for. They come to see me talk about music. So here's some notes that I want to read. I'm gonna read the notes as we play the song, but just a summary here by Scott. It says, oh, okay. Okay, this is more like personal stuff. Scott, don't worry about anything. You're always welcome here. No matter what you do, if you know, whatever you do, you're always welcome here, and that's not gonna change. So don't worry about it. I'm gonna read this. This is personal stuff. So let's get started here. The only thing I want to share is I'm happy that you're playing the bass, and I'm very happy that we had something to do with that. That's all I'm gonna say. That makes me super happy. So the marathon. For the marathon, I'm calling it Take Two or Deep Dive. So I'm gonna see what looks better on the thumbnail, because it features the same song from different artists. So this is, we're gonna do, like I said, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat by Jeff Beck. Then number 2, Leon Russell, This Masquerade. This version from Perspective has been remastered nicely, but any version will do. I got the remastered, okay? Joni Mitchell, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, from the studio album 1968 to 1979, but other options are available. I have it from Mingus, okay? And then we got the Carpenters playing This Masquerade from their Essential collections, but other options are available. I got the Now and Then. Yeah, it's a little bit different. And then we're going to listen to amazing guitar player Andy Summers from The Police, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, from his Last Dance of Mr. X, and that's the one I got right here. So again, thank you so much, Scott, for all your support, all your love, all your music. And one day, hey, one day we'll get together and play. And if it has to be over, you know, like I was going to say Skype, or some, you know, we could use, you know, what I'm using right now, Streamlabs, when we go live. There is a way of playing without any lag, and we could, you know, or you can lay down some bass tracks, send me the bass tracks, and I can, you know, improvise a little bit over it, have some fun together. All right. Okay. Now for the longest intro of the channel, it is what it is, guys. I can put a mark on where the actual reaction begins, but this is, you know, this is for Scott, and I want to give him, you know, the video he deserves. So Jeff Beck from Wired, here we go with Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Let's give it up for the master, the legend. And I don't say that to anyone, you know, I don't call anyone a master or a legend. It has to be something special. And there's like 10 guitar players that I would call that. And you would be surprised the people that I wouldn't call a master or a legend. But I'm not going to get into trouble today. So here we go. Jeff Beck. on this. Jan Hammer. I knew it. Ooh, that rake. That feedback. Wow, man. So good. Holy moly. Composed by Charles Mingus. This track is, I mean, what did we just hear? Jeff Beck has this ability, and I don't know if I think it's the Stratocaster, because I've been oh my god, Bruce Dickinson was on this album. Maybe not the Bruce Dickinson, but Jan Hammer on the synth. The drumming was fantastic. Narada Michael Walden, and who was on the bass? Let's see. Doesn't really say. Bass, was it Jeff? No, Jeff was only on the guitars. Bizarre that I don't see it. But well, the way, I mean, every note that Jeff plays has a meaning, has a purpose. Every note he plays, every lick, those rakes, and I can hear that he was using a guitar pick on this still, and he tossed it later in life to be more able to do the whole like whammy bar and play with the thumb and be able to like with his index finger kind of like that's what he does, and that's what I love so much about, for example, also Alan Holdsworth. Alan Holdsworth is a player, but obviously an incredible technical command over the instrument, but he does not shy away from the whammy bar. You know, it's an essential part of the language of the guitar playing of Jeff Beck. I think even more Jeff Beck than Holdsworth. Jeff Beck obviously is a different player. There's a lot of jazz here, but there's more blues and there's more feel. He's not worried about playing fast. He doesn't have to. Everything he plays is perfect. And he can play very fast, but he doesn't need to. He's just so expressive in every note. And I love how he changes pickups. I love how he changes positions on the strings, you know, closer to the neck, closer to the bridge. It has a different tone, everything. The way he bends the notes, up, down, the vibrato, circular, up. And, you know, it's just like, there's so much guitar wisdom. And I don't think any other guitar player at the time, I mean, in that we have Aldi Meola and we have, you know, amazing guitar players at that time that there were, we got, you know, the legends. But I'm talking about virtuoso level like this. I don't think anybody could really touch Jeff Beck, you know. And there were people capable, but they just sounded, you know, they were doing different things. He was a true original, you know, a true innovator. And there were a lot of innovators, of course, you know, a lot of people were doing crazy stuff. But I think it's just, I think my personal preference, this kind of playing is just remarkable. And we do have, I do want to give people credit, you know, like Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix and Mark Knopfler and guys like that, you know, Richie Blackmore and just otherworldly guys, you know, like Alan Holdsworth, like John McLaughlin, Aldi Meola. Did I say Aldi Meola already 3 times? But yeah, I mean, but they all sound like themselves, Zappa, but nobody sounded like Jeff. And Jeff has just like the style that's so expressive, and he doesn't need to, the singing is not required because he's so expressive just with the guitar alone. And I think you can only play like that with a Stratocaster, not even with a Tele. It has to be a Strat. It has to be that shape. It's like that shape, you know, that. So even though I've been practicing, you know, with a Charvel for the last couple of years, I do miss that Strat, and I do have one, but it's just like I said, it's not in the right order, and you can't really play like the way you're supposed to. There's a video of me playing a guitar solo by David Gilmour from Animals, Dogs, and you can see those pinch harmonics. I can only do those if the guitar is set, you know, the correct way. But, well, let's move on. This was just iconic. This was amazing. I'm always going to be sad that I never saw him live, honestly. Just such a talent. and such a big loss. All right, so now we're gonna switch it up. We're not gonna play the second version right away. We're gonna do Leon Russell, This Masquerade, from the album Carney. This is 1972. And then we're going to play the second version after the Joni Mitchell Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. So let's give it up for Leon Russell. I think that's the only artist I've not heard play on the channel. Here we go. And if I have, please remind me in the comment section. Here we go.
Are we really happy with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say, searching but not finding understanding anyway. We're lost in this masquerade.
Wow.
Both afraid to say we're just too far away from being close together from the start. We're trying to talk it over, but the words got in the way. We're lost inside this lonely game we play. Thoughts of leaving disappear every time I see your eyes. No matter how hard I try to understand the reason that we carry on this way. We're lost in a masquerade. Just start over, but it's oh so hard to do when you're lost in a masquerade.
Wow. So good. What can I say? So I wanted to thank Colin. I think you're the instigator of this marathon because we just did the amazing version, which is a cover. But I mean, when you talk about these musicians, they were covering their music, but they were making their own. This is the original version. And George Benson did an amazing version that we did thanks to Colin. And I think this is what created this entire marathon. So Colin, thank you. And thank you, you know, for you know, continuing, you know, this thing. Now we have 3 versions of the Masquerade. We will have 3 versions, and 3 versions of the Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Thank you, Scott. Obviously this was a huge this version by George Benson was a huge success on the channel. A lot of people loved it. Let me look here at how many views did it get so far. For a jazz song, you know, there's not a lot of jazz like fans that I know of, but I mean, so far 3,979 people have watched the video, so there must be something. And to listen to the original from 1972, Carney, wonderful. I think I've seen this musician before. The white face, the makeup, but this was wonderful. What a great version, psychedelic kind of like tone to it. I loved the flute, but I loved also the very romantic like singing, you know. I'm not very familiar with Leon Russell for some reason. I just had him pulled up here. So Leon Russell, the Wikipedia page is on, it's like never ending. So let's just focus on this album here. Carney is Leon Russell's 3rd solo album, released in 1972. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 200 and was the first for Russell to contain a hit single, Tightrope. By the way, it says this Masquerade, which reached number 11 on Billboard Hot 100. Side of the record profiles roots rock, while side 2 features psychedelic music. Was this? Yeah, this was from side 2. Yeah, it was a little psychedelic. Considered a surrealistic examination of Russell's newfound fame, it was inspired by the musician's personal downsides and being a celebrated live performer. The album has been described as a semi-autobiographical. Russell used the record to draw parallels between his life as an old-fashioned carnivals and circus clowns. The record reflects the musician's interests in vaudeville and sideshows, and also features 2 experimental pieces. It would be really cool to check them out later. Wonderful. We just lost him as well. Let's see here, Leon Russell. In 2016. I mean, it's a little bit longer ago, but what a legend. I mean, the Wikipedia site is just never ending. Like, the work this man did is so much work. And everybody who's like in the book, I mean, we have George Harrison, we have Ringo Starr, we have Elton John, we have Ray Charles, Clapton, Streisand, the Beach Boys, the Ventures, Willie Nelson, Frank Sinatra, Bob Dylan, J.J. Cale, B.B. King, Dave Mason, Joe Cocker, the Stones. I mean, there's nobody that he didn't work with. Amazing. Wonderful piece. Can't wait to listen to the Carpenters' interpretation of this. Now, we're going to go back to Mr. Mingus, composition, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. And Joni Mitchell for me is a legend, a living legend. And let's check out her version. We did do a complete concert of her playing the song with the amazing Pat Metheny. So if you want to check that out, that's on Patreon because it's a full concert. So if you want to watch it, go there, check it out. But yeah, so far let's give it up here for Joni Mitchell. My lord. Jaco. Jaco Pastorius. Yeah.
When Charlie speaks of Lester, you know someone great has gone. The sweetest swinging music man had a Porky Pig hat on, a bright star in a dark age when the bandstands had 1,000 ways of refusing a black man admission. Black musician. In those days they put him in an underdog position. Sellers and chitlins. When Lester took him a wife, arm in arm went black and white, and some saw red, and drove them from their hotel bed. Love is never easy. It's short of the hope we have for happiness, bright and sweet. Love is never easy street. Now we are black and white, embracing out in the lunatic New York night. It's very unlikely we'll be driven out of town or be hung in a tree. That's unlikely tonight. These crowds are happy and loud. Children are up dancing in the streets. In the sticky middle of the night, summer serenade of taxi horns and fun arcades, where right or wrong under neon, every feeling goes on. For you and me, the sidewalk is a history book and a circus, dangerous clowns balancing dreadful and wonderful perceptions. They have been handed day by day, generations on down. horns and brakes. Now Charlie's down in Mexico with the killers, so the sidewalk leads us with music to two little dancers dancing outside a black bar. There's a sign up on the awning, it says pork pie hat bar. And there's black babies dancing tonight.
Wow. Amazing. Just out of this world. I love that, you know, everyone that was great at the time wanted to work with Joni just because, you know. I think Steely Dan would have killed to play with these musicians. So just check this out. So it says here, prior to recording this album, Mitchell had several experimental sessions with New York musicians who had worked with Mingus, and these are the ones. So just check out the list. So this is not we're going to talk about the musicians that we just heard, but we got Eddie Gomez on the bass. We got John Guerin on drums, Phil Woods on alto saxophone, Jerry Mulligan on baritone saxophone, Danny Richmond, that's narration, Tony Williams. So Tony Williams I've been listening to maybe like my late teens. John McLaughlin, my late teens. Thank God. I listened to Friday Night in San Francisco with Aldi Meola and Paco de Lucia, and my mind was just blown forever. Jan Hammer, without even knowing I was listening to him when I was listening to the first Aldi Meola albums, and Stanley Clarke, also part of the D Meola, repertoire, and just by his stuff is just amazing. If you can, please listen to the Rite of Strings, Jean-Luc Ponty, Stanley Clarke, and Aldi Meola. That album I've maybe heard over 100 times. I will not get tired of it. It's always a new adventure. We did the whole album on Spotify, but you can check it out on YouTube. I just wanted to play it to Alexia, and I don't know if she got it at the moment we did it. It was a lot. It's a lot of instrumental music and a lot of improvisation. But now to the musicians who were actually playing, and I love Joni Mitchell, her talent that she could just get away with it, being a folk singer-songwriter and just go into the jazz world, but no problem. Just like, I'm here, now I'm going to sing jazz. So effortlessly, so beautifully, that I'm sure these musicians were just in awe, you know. So the first guy I recognized was Jaco Pastorius. The way he plays most of the time are fretless, and the harmonics he does, and just his tone, he has just such a recognizable bass tone and sound. Wayne Shorter on the soprano. I mean, that's why I said Steely Dan. I mean, they got him for one song. Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, who I had the pleasure to see live a couple of years ago during COVID. I mean, Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock and Pastorius and Mitchell in the same room. It's just like magic. And Peter Erskine on the drums, Don Alias on congas, Emil Richard percussion. Holy moly, what a track, what a way of... Did you hear like Herbie Hancock, you know, just like little nuances of like perfection, you know, Jaco maintaining everything together, and Peter, and then Wayne Shorter, you know, just like these musicians. I don't know if we'll ever have these kind of musicians again, because of too many distractions, you know. There's some amazing musicians, don't get me wrong. There's a guitar player that I follow, an Italian kid, and he's so talented. And I think he's like really like, he's locked in, you know, he doesn't have any other interests. And there's some really amazing people, but it was just an overwhelming time of talent that, you know, and I don't know if that's going to repeat itself. Now with AI and all this crap, I think the music industry is going to suffer, because now you're like, oh yeah, I want to write a bass line just like Jaco Pastorius. And it happens. And that's just like, where are we going to end up with that? You know, beautiful track, wonderful. Everybody just shines on this. Wonderful. Like, that's the beauty, that we're always going to have the original music. We'll be able to look back and say human beings did this, you know, and got together and created masterpieces. And that's the beauty. So it's never going to go away, but I guess, I don't know if we're going to get that again, you know, who knows? This was just wonderful. Okay. Let's switch gears here to the this Masquerade from the Now and Then. I'm using the Now and Then album, Carpenters. Here we go. I'm just checking here real quick. Your email, Scott. Yeah, it's the same song, same link. So here we go.
Are we really happy with this lonely game we play? Looking for the right words to say.
The third Masquerade. The trilogy is complete.
Searching but not finding understanding anyway. We're lost in this masquerade.
Drums, beautiful.
Both afraid to say we're just too far away from being close together from the start. We tried to talk it over, but the words got in the way. We're lost inside this lonely game we play. Thoughts of leaving disappear each time I see your eyes. And no matter how hard I try to understand the reason why we carry on this way, we're lost in this masquerade.
Wow, what a version.
inside this lonely game we play. Thoughts of leaving disappear each time I see your eyes. And no matter how hard I try to understand the reason why we carry on this way, we're lost in a masquerade. We're lost in a masquerade.
And we're lost in a masquerade.
Wow. Wow. I don't know. I can't decide which version. They're all so good. This was just, I didn't know. Right now I figured there were siblings. What a way to play music. What a way to sing. What a way to fill out the space, you know, with great, beautiful improvisation. Or not. I mean, at this point, I think the flutes were, you know, improvising, or maybe not. It doesn't matter. This was just beautiful. This almost seemed like a bossa nova version of this Masquerade. Wonderful, wonderful music. Just like hypnotizing is the word. It's like almost like you're being hypnotized by beauty. It's incredibly pleasing to listen to. I don't know, man. I mean, George Benson was jazzy, beautiful the way he was like scatting along, you know, just able to do that. And then I was like, of course, with my big mouth, oh, he knows how to write and read music, of course, and otherwise he wouldn't be able to do it. And then, you know, he doesn't read and write music. He's just that talented, you know. So I love that version. Then Leon Russell, of course, with the original, beautiful. But this was just, I think they took it a little bit to different heights. Just wonderful. I think I love them all, you know. There nothing is better or worse. I think this was like intoxicatingly beautiful, you know. So yeah, the Carpenters, wonderful. I can't wait to listen to it again. I'm actually going to listen to the whole marathon again once I'm done recording. Once I put everything together, I'm just going to splice the video together and get all the covers. And I love that. And this feels like a marathon from a couple of years ago when a lot of people would just like choose the best stuff, you know. This is like and I know that not that you guys have ran out of ideas because there's so much music, but it's difficult. It's difficult, and still you do have to like the music. So there's a certain type of music that a lot of people don't listen to. So it's kind of limited, you know, to come up with these marathons. Like it's got to be super difficult. I mean, I've done some marathons myself where I chose the music and it took me weeks, you know. So I know. Man, what a version. But what a version. Now Andy Summers, I'm sure he's gonna bring down the house. I mean, he's such a talented guitar player. Wrote one of the most famous like riffs in history. So Goodbye Pork Pie Hat from the last stanza of Mr. X. This is from 1997. I don't think so, but let's check here. Andy Summers, Mr. X, 1997. Okay, here we go. And again, he's playing this a guitar that's very similar to my guitar. That's very popular, that model with that red. But here we go. Let's check it out. Andy Summers. Difficult to improvise. Holy moly. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful improvisation. The way he was improvising those scales, the dynamics on the guitar, beautiful. Just the way he was picking those notes with this intention, a little bit more, you know, like pinched notes, beautiful. Just like, and that bass walk, you know, very slowly, but very difficult to improvise over. Very, very like hard version to play, I'm sure. Andy Summers, I didn't even know, like I just looked him up. So I guess he was, when the Police really took off, I think Sting and Stewart were like in their 20s and he was already in his 30s. So that is, you must have been insane to found success a little bit later in life, you know, in your 30s and 40s, when these guys were like, you know, barely, you know, legal to have a drink, you know. So he is now in his 80s. He's 82 years old, while Sting and Stewart are in their 70s, 72, both of them, and but Andy is 10 years older, exactly. Wow. In his teens, he saw a concert by Thelonious Monk. There's an inspiration. Wes Montgomery, of course. I mean, I think that's where he got his chops, you know, by listening to those kind of guitar musicians, guitar players. Wonderful. Just wonderful. I would love to see him. He's still performing. It says here Summers performing in 2023, age 82. I mean, that's what I love. There's some musicians that really take care of themselves. Oh my God, he didn't even know he was part of Soft Machine with Holdsworth. I don't know if he was in the same lineup, but I guess it was either Holdsworth or him. But yeah, the Soft Machine. What a story, man. This was so great. Thank you so much, Scott. This was wonderful. Every song better than the other, or just equally great, you know. Just I at this level you can't really compare. It's just high level musicianship, and you can really feel the love and dedication to their craft. And this was just wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this. This is going to be a lot of fun to put together, get all the artwork, you know, create a thumbnail, and, you know, edit together. Even though I think I never really cut. I think it's just one video. So yeah, we're reaching almost an hour. That's the way I like it. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for watching. Let me know. This is a kind of like a fun one, because here we can compare, and yes, you can be honest which one is your favorite, and you know, we can play that game. If you want, check out the George Benson version of the Masquerade, and then you have heard all three. You got that trilogy, and we got the Good Pie Pork Pie Hat trilogy, and then we can play the comparing game. Obviously Jeff Beck was unbelievable, but so was Leon Russell doing his, you know, his composition. Joni Mitchell and everybody involved on that track was just incredible. The Carpenters was just as sweet as honey. And then Andy Summers really killed it. I didn't know that he played such good jazz. I always thought he was more like a rock guitar player. So that's my ignorance right there. I didn't know he was in Soft Machine. But no wonder he came up with these amazing riffs in the Police, and he played in a very important role. I mean, I think everybody in the Police is just a master in their craft. They were just playing easy music for the masses, you know. So amazing. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this marathon. Please, if you can, thank Scott, of course, you know. And yeah, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one.